The report was accurate, the source was reliable, the timing should have been perfect, yet the opportunity no longer existed. Dae-hyun stared at the document, then at the timestamp, then back at the document. For the first time in years, he found himself asking a question he had never needed to ask before. What changed? 3 days earlier, a routine request failed. Not because someone stopped it, not because a signature was missing, not because anyone had been caught. It failed because it skipped a step. For the first time in the house, the process itself noticed. The following morning, department heads arrived frustrated. The new system was lower. At least that was what they believed. Approvals required verification. Requests required ownership. Missing information triggered delays. People complained loudly. Chairman listened quietly. Then he opened the dashboard. The numbers told a different story. Approvals were moving faster. Mistakes were simply becoming visible. The complaints stopped. The room became quiet. Meanwhile, Amara prepared breakfast for the twins. The boys argued over a toy truck. One wanted the blue truck, the other wanted the exact same blue truck. Amara did not raise her voice. She did not negotiate. She simply handed one twin a different truck. The argument ended immediately. Simple. The twins did not need more trucks. They needed their own lane. She returned to preparing breakfast. That evening, Joon-ho passed through the corridor near the kitchen. He paused at the doorway. Amara sat at the table. Examination notes open, a highlighter in her hand. He did not enter. She did not look up. After a moment, she spoke. Too many people reading the same file doesn't create clarity. It creates noise. People should only see what they need to do their job. She turned a page. She did not explain. She did not repeat herself. Joon-ho stood there for a moment longer, then he walked away. The next morning, Min-seok received new instructions. Access levels would be restructured. Departments would only receive information relevant to their role. Need to know would become the new standard. Min did not ask a question. In this house, instructions came from one place. Days later, a quiet notification chime echoed down the corridor. An approval had moved cleanly through the system. Amara was studying. Her final examination was 4 days away. Her notes were spread across the table. When the chime sounded, her pen stopped. Just for a moment. Then she turned another page. She did not look up. She did not smile. The system was working. That was enough. Outside the mansion, Dae-hyun received another update. Current, accurate, reliable. He smiled. Then he checked the timestamp, 12 hours old. The smile disappeared. Because 12 hours in his world might as well been 12 years. The information was correct. The opportunity was gone. Later that night, he contacted his insider. Same office, same position, same responsibilities, same people. Yet somehow, less information was reaching him. Finally, Dae-hyun asked a question he had never needed to ask before.
What's changed?
The insider had no answer, because from where the insider sat, nothing had changed at all. That night, Joon-ho reviewed the first week of restructured access reports. Something immediately stood out. Fewer documents, fewer duplicate approvals, fewer unnecessary channels, fewer people teaching, fewer people touching the same information. Yet visibility had increased. Less noise, more clarity. For the first time, he could see exactly how information moved through the house. As night settled over the mansion, Amara returned to her revision notes. The twins slept peacefully. The house remained calm. No alarms, no intruders, no emergencies. Exactly what everyone needed. Yet somewhere beyond the mansion walls, somebody was becoming increasingly uncomfortable. Because every day, the system grew stronger. Old advantages grew weaker. Dae-hyun placed 3 reports side by side, all accurate, all useless. For the first time, he stopped studying the information and started studying the process behind it. Slowly, he reached a conclusion. Nobody was hiding information. Nobody had been exposed. Nobody had been removed. Someone was changing how information moved. And whoever was responsible understood systems far better than he expected. Somewhere inside the mansion, a problem he could not see was quietly becoming a strength. And for the first time in years, Dae-hyun realized he was no longer fighting people, he was fighting structure.